And I can certainly attest, having done extensive research in McMilloy's last night, that I met two Americans who were on a long hiking holiday in Ireland, and I met a number of other people who were today, there was 5 sisters who were going on a 50-kilometre cycling route today. So you can really see that activities in tourism is really something which is taking hold of this country. And certainly Ordinance Survey are really happy to make our contribution to that. I would just like now to introduce Colin Bray, the Chief Executive Officer of Ordinance Survey Ireland, to say a few words. Thank you.
Mike or no Mike? Mike, great. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be here this evening to launch Ordnance Surveys Ireland's 2 newest adventure series maps. In particular, I would like to thank Hughe and his team for the warm welcome we have received on our arrival and for giving us this majestic setting to launch our maps. I think we can all agree on that. Harry, thank you very much. As I drove down from Dublin to Mayo today, I was reminded of this intrinsic beauty of our country. In our increasing busy lives, we don't often get that opportunity to stop what we're doing and to savour the natural ruggedness of our surroundings. That's why it's a privilege for me as Chief Executive of OSI to constantly be surrounded by reminders of how unique and beautiful our landscape actually is. It is also particularly fitting that this evening's launch is taking place here in this stunning setting of the Lawn Gallery in Westport House, overlooking Clew Bay, one of the new additions to our map series. Westport has long been recognised for its friendly people and ancient heritage, and increasingly as a destination for tourists, both home and abroad. Before I came here to Mayo today, we took a look through some of our ancient map archives, and we saw the historic map from 1838, surveyed in 1838, that clearly shows Westport House and the surrounding gardens. Since then, the landscape has changed significantly, and likewise, our maps have gone through many iterations in order to keep up to date with societal changes. In 2014, we introduced our Adventure Series maps, which has been one of our most successful initiatives to date. These maps are geared towards outdoors enthusiasts and show safe routes, mountain peak walks and cycle routes. I'd also like to take the opportunity here this evening to thank Mountain Views for all their input and detail onto the maps. To date, we have published 10 of these series of maps, including Killarney National Park, McGillicuddy Reeks, Wicklow Mountains, Shannon Lakelands and the Aran Islands. Our 2 newest editions focus on some of Mayo's most beautiful areas. And you can see the maps here, we have them on the stands left and right. South Mayo map, which includes areas such as Lewisburg, Mulleray Mountains and also Croagh. The second map, Clew Bay, Croagh and Clare Island, as the title would suggest, includes Clew Bay and Croagh, but also we've included Clare Island as an inset, and also I think you'll appreciate the level of detail in the mapping, particularly the naming of the islands has been mentioned, but also our previous series would have been the 1:50,000. So this is a 1:25,000 scale map, twice the amount of detail, and we've also included field parcels on the detail. So from a cartographics perspective, we are very, very proud of the map. So it also includes obviously the Great Western Greenway, and I must say I had the pleasure the year before last with my family to cycle that as our summer holiday. Very enjoyable indeed. Ireland's natural environment is a huge resource in terms of economy, tourism, culture and learning. As the National Mapping Agency, it is our responsibility to provide the tools by which one can understand this environment and navigate it. That's why, over time, our aim is to create a national series that gives people the tools to explore the beautiful Irish landscape on our doorsteps and to find out more about our heritage. This further allows us to support tourism and leisure business, which is so critical to towns like Westport. Indeed, we intend to include Achill Island in one of our future Adventure Series publications. Citizen engagement is vital to enabling us to provide this support. There is no stronger knowledge or understanding than amongst those who have lived in the area for generations. So we would encourage people to let us know if there's any specific cultural or geographic information that we should include in further revisions. And we will endeavour to do this. A local example of this that comes to mind was recently relates to our large-scale mapping, where through local input we were delighted to include the name of Doris Bridge on our mapping in the town of Westport. Just an example of us taking information in and putting us on the map. Before I hand over to Anya Ryan from Mayo News, I would like to congratulate Mr. Harry Hughes on the launch of his new book, Croagh, A Place of Pilgrimage, A Place of Beauty. It really is a fantastic collection of history, stories and images about this beautiful corner of the world. Finally, I would like to thank you all for coming here this evening, and I would encourage you all to take a map, explore your local area and go on a journey of discovery about this beautiful country.